Hello, my name is Karina and I'm a midwife working for the Mid and South Essex NHS Foundation Trust. Welcome to our second online birthing information videos for women and their families. During this video, we will be talking about the first, second and third stage of labour, which is the labour, birth and delivery of the placenta. When choosing your place of birth, there are different options available to you. You can decide to stay at home, or you can have a hospital setting birth, and that can either be at our midwife-led or consultant-led unit. You can speak to your midwife or consultant about your personalised care plan, which will take into consideration your choices as well as the most appropriate and safe place for the birth of your baby. You might choose to have a home birth. There could be a number of reasons for this, including feeling comfortable in your own environment or having control over your own space. If you do make this decision, 2 midwives will come to your home and they will carry the equipment appropriate for the birth of your baby. If at any point they have any concerns, they may advise you to transfer into hospital, as it may no longer be the most appropriate setting. Or you might choose to go to the midwife-led birthing unit, which is run by midwives. Here you can choose to have a pool birth, and there is other equipment available to get you into the optimum position for the birth of your baby. Or you might choose to go to the consultant-led unit. This is the most appropriate place of birth for women with underlying health conditions where you or your baby might need to be monitored a bit more closely. Here you might have continuous fetal monitoring, or this might be the most appropriate place for you if you choose to have an epidural. Birthing partners, you have a really important role to play in this process. If you understand the process of labour, from the first stage to the active stage, including the third stage of labour, this can give you a really good insight into what your role is at that point. Whether you want to be providing loving, positive comments to really encourage that oxytocin to flow at that point, or whether it's during the active part where you need to be giving words of encouragement, telling them how well they're doing, keeping them hydrated and keeping them positive in that moment. Your role is just as important as anyone else's. Here are some suggestions on things that you can do to support your loved one through labour and birth. Beforehand, read up on what to expect during labour. Plan ahead so that you can be aware of what is happening. Your confidence in the process will help a lot when you are one of the birthing partners. Help to create a comfortable and calm environment. Dim the lights, play music, discourage unnecessary interruptions. Be practical. Is she really comfortable? How about a pillow under her head or knees? Can she reach her water bottle? Don't talk too much during labour, as she needs to focus. Stay calm and keep your voice low to avoid disturbing her. Keep a positive attitude in your language and actions. Understand the importance of being upright during labour and provide her with the support to do so, such as holding her while she leans against you. Help her to cope with any pain by focusing on her breathing during contractions. Tell her how well she's doing. Loving encouragement is what she needs now. Accept her pain. Seeing somebody you love in pain is very difficult, and it is very natural to want to stop the pain. Try to understand that in labour, this response is not necessarily appropriate or even possible. Respect her. Tell her what's going on, and if something is not going as planned, explain clearly what the staff recommend to sort it out. Remember that her consent is needed for every aspect of her care and treatment. I'm now going to talk about the first active stage of labour. This is from 4 centimetres until 10 centimetres dilated, and if we go back at our fruit, that's from the lime to the melon. Hopefully within this period you'll be having 3 contractions every 10 minutes, which are lasting a good 30 to 60 seconds. During this period, we would expect that you would dilate ½ centimetre every hour. If at any point your progress is slower, we may consider breaking your waters or putting you on the hormone drip. Once you're having 3 contractions every 10 minutes, please contact your local maternity triage. Here is a short video to explain how contractions will help to efface and dilate your cervix.
So I'm going to show you how we do the ping pong ball and balloon exercise. This was something that I got from a fantastic workshop called Stomp Out Boring Childbirth Classes. If you ever have a chance to attend that workshop, it's fantastic. So first part is we need to get the ping pong ball in the balloon. And if you just put it in, if you just try and open it a little bit and put the ball in, it's going to get stuck. And as I always said in class, stuck is a word we don't like to have associated with childbirth. So what you have to do is get your fingers all the way to the very bottom of the balloon and crank it way open and then poke the ball in. And then you have that. And I would usually have the class do that, stuff their own balloon. It was always fun and we'd have a good joke about it. And so then we've got that ping pong ball in there and we're going to inflate it about halfway. Have about like that. And then you can let that ping pong ball settle into the neck of the balloon. Sometimes giving the neck a little tug really helps. And then you can let go of it and it'll stay inflated. And I show people how if you just squeeze the side of the balloon like this, not much is happening to the neck of the balloon here, and it's not opening very much. These are the Braxton Hicks contractions that are just practice contractions that are more and more common towards the end of pregnancy, but they don't do all that much to what's happening to the cervix. So real contractions happen at the top of the uterus. That's where the power of contractions happens. It's the muscle fibers at the top here getting shorter and thicker, which squeeze the top and then pull up on the side of the uterus here. And just like with real contractions, I have everybody just squeeze and then let go, and then just squeeze and let go. You just have to do a little bit at a time. And you can see how we're getting that effacement or thinning of the cervix down here. And not much dilation is happening while we're still working on shortening the cervix here. And this is a lot of the work that's going on in early labor. It's mostly about that shortening and less about the dilation. So once we get to much more effaced, much more thin, then we're going to start dilating the cervix there. And a lot of people get kind of nervous at this point. It's like, oh no, I don't want to push. So we always have a bit of a joke. It's just like actual labor, where you'd be like, it's okay, just breathe, do it gently. You're stretching beautifully, and then just give it one more push, and the baby will be here. There you go. And it's always just an absolute riot in class. Everybody laughs and has a blast with it. And I always tell class, take it to your young kids, and if they already have kids, and this is a refresher class, show your older kids, because they think it's kind of funny. That's how babies come out. And if you're at a boring office meeting, take it along to that too. So anyway.
Using different positions and staying mobile in labour can not only help with your own comfort levels, but can also help with optimum fetal positioning, as Danielle spoke of in the first video. Our birthing rooms are equipped with different aids to keep you mobile and comfortable during the delivery and birth of your baby.
This is our typical birth room on the birth centre, and I'm sure the first thing that would strike you is that there's no bed in here.
Yeah.
Yeah? We're trying to encourage mums to be mobile, and there's an awful lot of evidence now to show that when we get a mum to lie on a bed and we put her on a monitor and we restrict her movement, that can increase the amount of pain that she feels in labour, and on occasion slightly slow down the progress of her labour. So the whole point of this room is to encourage you to be much more mobile. So the reason I've brought you in here is to show you the different positions you can use without a bed and still be very comfortable in your labour. The biggest thing that we use obviously in this room is called a Bradbury birthing mat. Okay. And obviously the best way to use this is usually to lean over it. Some mums do lie down on it, and you can see the shape of it sort of assists you lying down. But a lot of mums actually kneel down on the birthing mat and find that really comfortable. Okay.
Right, yeah.
So can I show you what we do? If I get you to kneel down probably about here,
yeah,
because there is a little natural dip in it there.
Okay.
Have your knees about a shoulder width apart, because a nice broad base makes you feel quite stable and comfortable. You just lean forward on the bed.
Yeah.
And then you can see that for your lower back, this is a really good position, because as you rock backwards and forwards during labour, it actually stretches out your lower back and helps with any back pain or discomfort you might be feeling. And we can get your husband or partner to massage your back and keep you nice and comfortable. And we have got some aromatherapy blends that are quite good for back pain that we could get him to rub into your back while you're in labour. Okay.
Lovely.
We call it a birthing ball, but actually it's just an exercise ball, and they've been around for quite a while now in physical therapy. And what we found is when you sit on a birthing ball, it actually encourages you to sit in a really good posture. So again, helps all the muscles in your back. Okay. And in labour, helps you to do your pelvic rocking and rock from side to side and actually help with the pain. And it has been shown to slightly reduce the amount of pain that you're feeling.
So you'd still be able to move whilst you were sat on it, you wouldn't be sitting completely still?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And a lot of mums look at it rolling about and think that they're going to fall off it. If you get in a proper position, it's actually much more comfortable than a chair because it's a little bit more giving. And you can be quite stable even without somebody supporting you.
Okay, yeah.
So you're quite a tall person, so you'd probably need a ball that's about 65 centimetres, which this one is, because your knees always have to be a little bit lower than your hips on a birthing ball.
Right.
Obviously, if it was the other way around, it'd become very uncomfortable and make you quite unstable. Okay. So if I can get you to sit on there,
yeah,
and again with your feet about shoulder width apart, because it's that broad base that you need to keep you stable. How does that feel?
Yeah, really comfortable, and I don't feel like I'm going to fall off or wobble, and it's nice to be able to have a little bounce and move. Yeah.
And what we found is the best movements when you're in labour, just so that you're going with the rhythm of your labour, are either side to side, or a lot of mums sort of go round, and that helps with that pelvic rhythm that we always encourage mums to use. Do you want to have a little go with that?
I can have a go.
Like I say, just keep your feet nice and wide, because that gives you a nice secure base.
It forces you to sit upright as well, doesn't it?
Right.
Stops you slouching.
Yeah, you can feel that on your back muscles, can't you? You can't really lean forward.
And then just round.
Yeah. And you know, as your labour's progressing, if you want to stay on the ball, we sometimes get your partners to support you a little bit from behind. But this upright position has been shown to shorten labours and is much better at helping you cope with the pain.
Yeah. It's really comfortable again.
Okay.
Yeah.
One other thing that we can talk about, I know your partner couldn't be here today, but sometimes mums quite like to walk around, especially in the early parts of their labour, and just lean on dad when they start to feel a contraction. So if you stand up, I'm probably not quite as tall as your partner, and you just put your arms on my shoulders and you get him to hold you there, you could probably put your head on his shoulder when you were having a contraction, and again you can do your pelvic rocking from there. And he can help and support you with that, and that's quite nice, and again gives dad a bit of a roll in your labour. This bit of equipment is called the birthing stool. Again, we only tend to use it towards the end of your labour when you're pushing your baby out, and sometimes when you've been pushing for a little while and we think that progress isn't quite what we expected, so we're trying to just help the baby to deliver and get you in a better position for that. So we don't sit you on this for any prolonged periods of time.
So not for labour then?
Not for labour all the time, no. Usually in about the second stage, and sometimes just to deliver your placenta after you've delivered the baby. But you can see there's not a lot of support for you anywhere there, and we know that it puts a little bit more pressure on your perineum and sometimes can increase the risk of you either having a tear or bleeding if it's used for too long. So if I get you, normally we would have dad sitting behind you supporting you, so I'm going to stand here and support you and be your partner for today. So again, you stand at the front of it with your feet wide apart, and then I'll just support you while you sit down. And you can actually deliver on this stool if we do use it. There you go. So we'd normally have dad supporting you there and your midwife at the front there, and you can deliver on this stool, but like I say, we usually use it at the very end of your labour if we just want to help with position for baby. How does that feel? It's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Very strange.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm just going to show you another position that you could think about using when you're getting ready to deliver your baby. Okay, so again, when your body's feeling like it wants to push the baby out, this is quite a nice position to help with that pushing the baby out and just open up the pelvis.
Right, okay.
It's what we call the supported squatting position, and you usually need your partner to support you, so that's why Anita's agreed just to act as your partner for today.
Right.
Okay, so if you just stand in front of Anita with your feet wide apart again, just to get that nice stable base.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going to help you just squat down, and then if you lean back towards Anita, that's lovely. Okay, how does that feel?
Quite comfortable. A little bit of pulling here,
Yeah.
but I feel well supported.
Quite stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is quite a good position to focus the energy of your body towards your pelvis and push the baby out.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Sarah, this is our birthing pool. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the National Institute for Clinical Excellence. You might have seen them in the press occasionally.
Yeah.
But they actually give us what is the best advice for caring for mums in labour. And they actually recommend that most mums should try water in labour.
Oh, right.
It's been found to be quite a good form of pain relief. Helps you to be more mobile because obviously the water gives you some mobility. And can slightly reduce the length of your labour. And quite a lot of our mums here use it now, which is why it's such a big feature of the room. Okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes our mums quite like to sit in it. Obviously, I'm not going to fill it now.
Okay.
But I wondered if you would like to step in it and just have a little sit and see how it feels, because it is quite big and it is quite deep.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Shall I just give you a bit of support? There is a handle there for you to use, and if you use the steps,
Yeah.
and you step onto that little seat first.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Some mums like to sit at this end because obviously that's where you've got most of the space.
Yeah.
Okay. And when the water is,
So if I
when the
give that
bath's
a go.
full of water, you've got a lot more mobility there.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see you can get quite comfortable in there
Yeah,
when
there's
you've
a lot
got
of
the
back
water.
support here.
Yes.
Yeah, as well.
And there is a little seat there that some of our mums like to sit on, but again, there's not a lot of room there, so most of them do tend to use it like that. But you also find that a lot of mums actually turn over and use that all fours position that we looked at on the floor in the water where they've got more support.
Oh, so you can
you
do
might
that here as
find,
well.
yeah, if you turn over and kneel on your knees again, that's
Yeah.
it, that nice wide base, and hold on to there. That's lovely, and then just use the side for support, and then Dad can splash you back and make the most use of the water.
Great.
Is that comfy?
Very.
Okay. Okay, Sarah, another position that you can try, either if your partner's gone out to get your bags and you want to stay standing while you're waiting for him to come back, or while you're waiting for us to fill the pool, is you can just use the wall to lean against, just to give you a bit of stability when you get in a pain.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yep.
again, your feet about shoulder width apart, nice broad base. Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
And then you just put your arms on the wall, again using your forearms as opposed to your hands. Yeah?
Yeah.
And you can see that stretches out your lower back again. Make sure your knees are nice and soft. You don't want them too straight. And you can feel that releases your lower back again and means that you can still do your pelvic rocking if you want to when you've got a contraction. That's lovely. Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Jasmine, what we're going to do today, and the reason that we've put you on the monitor, is just so that we can show you when you go into labour that although everybody will start you off on this bed, there's actually quite a lot of evidence now. There's a lot of evidence now that sitting on a bed all the time actually makes your labour more painful and can slow your labour down a little bit. So what we try to do is, even though because of everything that's happened in your pregnancy, you need to be on the monitor and have your drip going all the time, you can still get out of the bed and use the birth ball in different positions. So if it's okay with you, that's what I'm going to show you today. Is that all right? So what I'm going to show you first is that this bed isn't actually just a bed, it turns into a chair, okay? And you can control that with these little bits there, okay? So I can show you, and then even if your midwife's not around and you feel that you don't want to be stretched out on the bed, you can turn it into a chair and get yourself a bit more comfortable, all right? So I'm just going to warn you that this is going to drop away a little bit, okay? That's lovely. If at that point, that's it. I can just get you to bend your legs a little bit. There we go. How does that feel? It's quite comfortable, isn't it? Nice support for your back and not completely flat on the bed all the time. Makes you a bit more upright. While we're just on the bed, it might be an idea just to show you that even if you don't feel that you want to stand out of the bed, that you can use the bed and still be on the monitor and sort of kneel up and get a little bit more upright. So I don't know if you want to try that now. It's a bit more complicated with your drip and everything. So what we tend to do is just disconnect your monitor for a minute while we get you into position, and then we can put it back on afterwards, okay? Okay, so don't you worry about your drip, but what you need to do now is sort of just turn over. So you might want to go, you roll towards your drip, and then I can just, hold on a sec, just help you with your cables and everything. There you go. Okay, and then I'm going to ask you to hold on to them for me. There we go. We can reconnect it. Still have a look for your baby, and then you can lean up and hold on to the back. So if you use the back as support, that actually stretches out your lower back, and that's quite good for mums who do get back pain during the labour, and that's quite common during the labour, particularly towards the end. Okay? And that feels quite comfy. Yeah? You perhaps wouldn't want to do it all the time because obviously you're kneeling up, so you might want to think about changing your position, not doing it for long periods of time. Okay, Jasmine, so we've got you sitting on the birth ball now, and this is a really good position for your posture, so you can feel that your back is really nice and upright now. You have to keep your feet nice and wide apart like you've got them, and keep slightly tilted forward so your knees are always below your hips. How does that feel? It is quite a comfortable position, isn't it? And then for labour, we know that it will help to reduce the amount of pain you feel from your contractions and help the progress of your labour because you've got gravity helping with everything. But you can see, we can still see the baby's heart. You're still on your drip. There's absolutely no reason for you just to be on the bed. Okay? Okay then, Jasmine, so now we've got you out and upright next to the bed. Now this helps you to do your pelvic rocking and get in with your pelvic rhythms as you get your contractions. And you can see, we can still see baby on the monitor. You're still attached to your drip. And then for a bit of extra support when you get a contraction, if you just lean forward on the bed using your forearms for support, and you can see again that stretches your lower back out, and your partner when he's here can rub your back. And we do have aromatherapy oils for back pain, so if you've got a lot of back pain we can massage some of that into your back just to help with the pain. And you can see that's quite a good position, and still we can see that baby and what he's up to. Okay, how does that feel?
That feels fine.
It's a good position, isn't it? And obviously again, we know you're going to get tired. We're not expecting you to do this for the whole of your labour. Okay?
Ways of coping with labour can include hypnotherapy, the use of oral analgesics, the use of a TENS machine or a warm bath or a warm birth pool, gas and air, diamorphine or pethidine, or an epidural. Hypnotherapy or hypnobirthing is the use of visualisation and breathing techniques to help you relax and go through the natural birth process. For more information, please click the link. Water birth can be really good as it helps mobilisation and can get you really comfortable during labour. It's relaxing and it also acts as a pain relief. Partners can join in, however, please wear swimming shorts. It's calming and it can act as a really calm transition for baby to be born into the world. Gas and air can be used at home or in the hospital setting. It's short lasting in that it only takes 15 to 20 seconds to get in your system and out again. It is really important that you breathe normal air in between, as not only will that help it work more effectively for you during your contraction, but it will also reduce the risk of feeling nauseous. It's really good that you can mobilise with it. You can use it in the pool and outside. Make sure that you keep your lips moisturised because they can get very dry when using this. Diamorphine and pethidine are given as an injection, usually alongside an anti-sickness. It can make you feel a bit sleepy and is therefore not advised when you're using the pool. It's also not advised if birth is imminent. An epidural is a regional analgesia that is used to help block the discomfort from contractions. There's lots of things that need to be put in place for this, as seen on the screen. Please be aware that if this is your choice, you'd need to be on the consultant-led unit, as continuous fetal monitoring will need to be used. The second stage of labour is from 10 centimetres or fully dilated until the birth of your baby. During this time, you might feel a lot of pressure down below and urges to push from where your baby's head is very low and is sitting on your pelvic floor. Please be assured your midwife will guide you through this process. Evidence shows that the use of perineal massage can help to reduce the risk of tears during childbirth. Please click on the link below for further information on this. The third stage of labour is from the birth of the baby until the birth of the placenta. There are two different options for this, the first being physiological management, whereby we await events and allow the body to expel the placenta by itself. This can take up to an hour, or you can use active management, whereby the use of oxytocic drugs are given and then the midwife will help guide out your placenta. Optimal cord clamping is leaving the cord unclamped, allowing as much of that blood to cross from the placenta to the baby. This allows the baby to have as much of its iron stores as possible. On screen you can see newborn twins. One baby needed to have its cord clamped immediately, the other baby had optimal cord clamping. You can see the visible difference between the two.
If you haven't done so already, please access our Maternity Direct service, where you can find lots of evidence-based information and health advice. You can also chat to a midwife for non-urgent questions and queries. The link is below.